Welcome here inside of Cafe Kubal. We are on site, on location, and very happy to be here with you all at the 401 South Salina Street location in downtown Syracuse. We appreciate your patience this morning as the weather has, in the middle of April 19th, it is snowing. It is looking awful on I-81. I can tell you I-81 this morning at 6 a.m. was not pretty. A lot of trees down, a lot of snowing, a lot of ice, cars off the road, so please be safe today. We are here, of course, your host, Dan Tortora. I'm proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time inside of MixLR.com's stream, MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT, as well as Facebook and YouTube, each.com/WakeUpCallDT. We are here with Alex Grigorita here, the
Good morning.
national champion, assistant AD, and women's soccer head coach from Bryant and Stratton. Happy to have you here.
Thank you.
We're both wearing this, but you forgot your Spain attire today.
I was going to wear a Moldova attire, but we're not as fancy as Spain, because we didn't qualify for the World Cup. So maybe I'll wait for the occasion, when finally we have the celebration as well. Maybe at some point. Maybe when I become the head coach of national team of Moldova.
There you go. But no, I had to have this on, and I know that our conversation can really go anywhere today. So I had to be prepared. So I had it on YouTube while I was driving this morning, and just had it on and kind of sat down so I could listen to it. Is the draw for each of the groups from pot 1 all the way through, and knowing that Spain will be the leader of Group E.
Okay.
And Germany, Japan will be there for the Men's World Cup for 2022 here.
Right.
And so we have Germany, Japan, Spain, and then the winner of a play-in game that we're going to see as well. So
between New Zealand and Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, which I have a feeling it's going to be Costa Rica, but we'll see.
We'll see. That's why we love soccer for, like the field for the most part is flat, and you never know which way it's going to go. So it might work either way, so that's for sure. On the other note, I like to think a little bit more positive, and instead thinking about miserable snow in April, I woke up this morning and I thought, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, so
yes.
maybe we should go dig for Christmas tree again and stuff, and put the lights on.
Well, the funny thing is I left because of travel and everything, I left my Christmas tree up longer than I've ever left it up, and so I had a fake tree, but I actually left it up until March Madness.
You knew something.
I just took it down, and now I don't know. I'm guessing by our conversation, maybe I should put it back up again. Then maybe it's time to get ready for Christmas. But it is. It's definitely. It's festive outside. I'll say it's festive.
That's for sure. I had about, I don't know, for sure 5-6 inches on my car this morning. And it's as always the same problem. I get back home at night, and I'll just keep the car outside. There's nothing is going to happen until I woke up in the morning and I see about 5-6 inches on my car that I have to definitely clean off before I can even do anything. So that was a fun morning for sure. On top of school get canceled, like a snow day in April. That's just like paradise, having a dream come true for my child for sure. So.
Yeah. So you get to take a little break. And your kid gets to take a little break today. Yeah. So right after Easter, an extra day off. So what are you going to do with that?
Extended. Definitely, despite the day off or not, recruiting never stops. So I do have a lot of work to do. I do have a lot of recruiting to finalize for the fall. I have my friends/opponents, text me at least once a month, to check on me and see how I'm doing. For some reason, everyone is so curious to know how is my recruiting going, so that kind of a little motivational tool right there, So, and on top of everything, just past Saturday we had actually our Bryant Stratton College graduation ceremony, and was so good to have it in person finally.
Yeah.
It was so good to see those students, being so excited and happy. with a sense of achievement, and really, really, really proud of themselves, So I saw our athletes, our normal students, that just go to school on a daily basis, our faculty, our staff, was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. It made me appreciate a little bit more, how much we have there, like to celebrate and to be happy about, that's definitely was a special moment for all of us, So was again makes you kind of understand the value of being a college coach.
Yeah.
Seeing those young ladies coming into college from high school or from transferring from another junior college to us, a little confused, a little lost, a little unsure what they're gonna do with their life and their destiny, and then after 2 or 4 years seeing them walk across the stage, confident young women with a smile on their face, definitely proud of their accomplishment, and seeing those proud families, that goes a long way. That's worth even more than a national championship. Let me tell you, that's for sure, and that's a huge statement for me, for all of us.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you talked about the fact that we live in a world where so much was taken away from us, that you appreciate these things, right? You appreciate graduation, and like you said, the fact that you actually got to physically be there for graduation.
Absolutely.
Just what that does for you as a coach after these couple of years and everything that we've seen, just how important it is for you to be there and to show these young women how much you care about them beyond the sport of soccer.
Absolutely, and we talked about this last time. For me, school and soccer come together. They're both important. School is a little bit more important than soccer. And just seeing the results. And seeing that, hey, somebody actually listens.
Yeah.
And most of them are actually taking this seriously, and they're truly proud to be there. Some of them actually graduating with their bachelor's with a 4.0 GPA. That's an outstanding accomplishment. That's something for sure to celebrate and to be proud of.
So for you, knowing that they're walking across this stage with an education and walking across the stage as national champions, just what that does for you to remember that in the moment.
It's a little bit of everything, a little bit of definitely proud moment. I did something right as a leader, as a mentor, as a coach, as a support for those young women. Also, it's a little motivation. I want to do it again. I want to make sure I give an opportunities to many more girls that are out there, like looking for that guidance, looking for that path of success, looking for that journey, that experience. I want to make sure I go above and beyond to recruit and find and bring even more, successful and talented players here to Syracuse, to Bryant and Stratton College. And celebrate their accomplishments and their successes in the next 2 or 4 years. That's for sure.
Well, you brought it up a couple times, and you said everybody's been asking you. So, how is your recruiting going?
After so many years and so many times recruiting, you always hope and think it's going to get easier. However, the level of competition definitely increases. So there is still a huge amount of talented young female players, right? But at the same time, there is so many more schools that are kind of understanding, and I wouldn't say they're stealing your paths and your kind of network or stuff, but they're using or they're borrowing, and they understand it. They kind of look at my roster, or we look at each other's rosters, like, oh, look, they have some players from that state or from that little pocket or from that little area,
Yeah.
So it definitely kind of makes it a little bit more interesting, So I have a pretty good solid base. Most important, I found the players that I was looking for and those specific positions that I was looking for, and I'm definitely looking for a couple more, just to give me that kind of, a little bit more peace of mind and just give me a little bit more confidence that, hey, I have it, like although last year showed it and proved that you never can be too confident, with the amount of injuries we had. With my roster of 25, 27 players, at some point during the season, I look at the bench. I only had like 5-6 players healthy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's not good, So that kind of makes me think about, and makes me plan a little bit, more for the upcoming season. Like what if we're gonna have something similar happen when you have about 7-8 starting players injured, at some point during the season. How can you overcome that issue, and how can you still be successful and still have your level on the field every single day, so that makes it a little bit more interesting, but yeah, again, I'm pretty confident, pretty usually doesn't happen to me often, but this year I'm kind of satisfied where we are at this point of recruiting stage, and for us it's not that it's early in the recruiting season, but we are right now kind of, the peak of recruiting, because we recruit all the way until literally the last week of preseason,
Yeah.
Being a smaller school, being a part of the USCAA offers us that flexibility that we can enroll and we can find players like literally with a week before the preseason. So if there is somebody who didn't work out, didn't like where they went, or some other, family emergencies or something like that, our doors are always open. Like in that movie, that cartoon, no trolls left behind, same thing with us, no good players left behind, for sure, if somebody wants to be a part of our program and is really willing, it's a good fit for us and we are a good fit for them, our doors are open for sure.
And when you look at the uniqueness of being part of a small college in the USCAA,
Yeah.
there's more of an opportunity than the NCAA as far as age-wise and whatnot, as long as there's eligibility. So
Sure.
speak to that a little bit and how you have more flexibility in finding the right players.
We do have a little bit flexibility. Obviously, there are eligibility rules, so it's not totally you do whatever you want or something like that,
Yeah.
But it just kind of gives us a little bit more options as far as recruiting, because I always bring this example. I go to a college showcase, and we have about probably 5 years ago, we would have 20 college coaches looking at the same players. This year I went to a showcase and we had about 40 college coaches looking at the same 5, 4, 6 players, that they're looking to recruit. So understanding that I have to compete against 40 other programs, definitely forces me and kind of puts me in a situation when I have to look and I have to explore and look for some other avenues, for recruiting to be successful, So having a little bit more flexibility with the age limit, having a little bit more flexibility with eligibility rules, definitely opens some new opportunities for me as a college coach and opens some more opportunities for those players who are out there, looking for a opportunity to play college soccer and get their degree. It also makes it a little bit more competitive because, if you take a player who, let's say, is 19, 20 years old, 21 years old, is definitely a little bit more experienced for the most part, and a little bit stronger and maybe not better, but a little bit more prepared to the physicality of the college game than a 17, 18-year-old player, So that makes it a little bit more challenging, makes it a little bit more competitive, because I know for sure my main opponents, from other schools, they building a strong roster, So I have to be there too, and I'm gonna be ready for the fall. It's gonna be an interesting season, So it's hard to win a national title. It's even harder to do it again. Our men's team did it, so hopefully we can do it as well.
And Nick Dimitrievsky, the AD and men's soccer head coach, and your former head coach, believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
You have your first national championship. He has multiple, and he's been a runner-up multiple times. So how much does your playful banter back and forth intensify now that you've won a championship? Where are the expectations now when you talk to Nick?
We don't really talk about the end result. We always kind of trying to focus on the process, and we talk about day to day, and we talk about what kind of players I need, what kind of positions I'm looking to reinforce or to bring new players or to cover and stuff like that, because I've been many times next to him during the runner-up, games when we lost, during the national championship, and I think that's what made me better and stronger and more experienced coach, because being there next to him on the sideline, during those final games definitely helped me, learn a lot, learn from our mistakes, learn from our experiences. So when I had a chance as a women's head coach, to be there and to be at the final game, make those better decisions, as good as I could based on our experiences, So we, like I said, at this point, we are experienced enough to understand that you have to focus on the process. You don't look so much on the end result. Like you're just kind of taking day by day, step by step, and you're mostly thinking, all right, do I have enough central backs in my roster? In case if something happens, do I have somebody next man step up? Do I have that creative player that I need, to control the game and to basically run the offense for us and the midfield for us? Do I have that top goal scorer, that is gonna score that crucial and decisive goal in the final game, or carry us on throughout the season,
Yeah.
Do I have a solid goalkeeper, that is gonna definitely make that most important save, and that's how we kind of go about, and then obviously my coaching staff, we've always in touch, we always talk about kind of what can we do, where else can we go, what kind of ideas we have, for the season, because I've always thought we have our style and way we like to play, but it's always, you get a little nervous and you get a little goosebumps that first day of preseason when you have about 12, 15 brand new players, that you watch them play, you kind of have a good understanding, a good idea of their level, but there is always surprises, and you're just like, please God, just help me to be everything the right way, and we can apply our style and our system in place, the way we play. If not, I just had this conversation with another college coach, like, if not, don't be afraid to make the decision early in the season, like, don't be afraid to change while you still can, because after 7-10 games in the season, at that point, it's really, really hard to change anything.
Yeah, and for you, your coaching style that you have, when you're trying to recruit, and obviously there's two ways to do it. There's the recruiting your players and trying to get the best of the best, and then saying, okay, I have to build a style around them. Right. And then there's having your style and saying, I need to find players that fit the style, because you don't want a square peg round hole type of situation. So are you more of, this is how we play, this is our style, we need to go find these players? Or if you can't find exactly what you need, do you adjust your style?
Coaching, and especially being like a soccer coach, I'm always learning something, so I'm not afraid to try. Yeah. I'm not afraid to be flexible. I'm not afraid to listen to my players and really to try to use their skills, so to make us better, so I'm always talking about balance, having a balance. It's not really right, or it's not really possible, I would say, to recruit I don't know, 11 Messis, right, or 11 Alex Morgans, on your team, so yeah. Although we would love to probably, but then if Messi is going to play, if 11 of them, who's going to defend, right? So you still need defenders. So I'm always looking for, I guess, trends, I'm looking for what can I do with that player? Can I coach them? Can I make them better? Do they have the fundamentals and the abilities, to be successful and to improve, and good example, last year I recruited a player. She didn't have many options, so we basically were one of her few choices. I think she only had 2 or 3 choices, so she chose us because she just didn't look like that top player, she look average or below average. And I always told my coaches, I was so proud of her, because coming in preseason, something that I saw in her play, and her passion about the game, and the way she went about, like I said, this is going to be a good player for us, and during the preseason, during the 2.5 weeks or so, she improved so much that she became one of our starter players, and became very, very solid for our team. And as a result, at the end of the season, she made the all-tournament team. Yeah. So that's a good example when maybe a player that wasn't so shiny and wasn't so right away, like, oh, that's the one, and stuff.
Can we shout her out too, for those who don't know?
Yeah, absolutely. That's Kira Schulte. She's our left back. So So definitely, a player that I take so much pride, and I'm so proud of her success and her accomplishment. Like she came here open-minded, she came here willing to learn. Wasn't easy 2 weeks, like for her, especially in preseason, coming from overseas to a new experience, to new everything, new setting, different language and stuff, but being open-minded and working hard really made her a solid player, and I'm really proud of her. And examples like this are all over, in our team and all over the collegiate sport. It's again, you gotta find those players who are coachable and who you can work with for sure. And then your style, yeah, we have our basic style and our wish list, if I can,
Yeah.
put it that way. But and I'll bring here a good sentence from one of my favorite coaches. That was the answer to my question last time when I asked, Jesse Marsh, an American coach who coaches in Premier League this time around, and actually very successfully. He always talks about, he's got a specific way he coaches, which hopefully one day I'll have a chance to actually see his way of coaching, because and he goes about, so same thing. We do have a specific way we coach, and we go about, a set of exercises and set of plays that we run, but we're not afraid to try something new, to flexible, like being flexible and doing something to have our players, be themselves, and when someone asks me about my coaching philosophy and stuff, I like a balance. I like to have my players, knowledgeable and going on the field to have an idea how they're gonna go about, but leaving a little bit of room for their creativity and for their talents, to show on the field, because I feel it's important. I feel it's important to give them the footprint and then go execute, but please be yourself and don't be afraid to try something new on the field, because that's what makes it the difference between good and great.
Yeah, coming from Alex Grigorita, the assistant AD, the women's soccer head coach, and national champion of the Bryant and Stratton Bobcats. So very happy to have Bryant and Stratton with us every single month in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. And I don't know if you've heard this music before, but we call it the Bobcat Buzz every time we get together with anybody representing Bryant and Stratton. So I'm a big fan of this. I let it play because it's, to me, and it gives you more of that Spanish feel to it,
Okay.
There's a little undertones of my history, a little bit of dancing, a little bit of excitement, and it brings the world to it.
So I noticed today you talk about Spanish, you're kind of forgetting the Italian part of yourself.
Yeah, I am.
It's because they didn't make the World Cup or
No,
something?
I love being both. Listen, I made an Italian dish for Easter Sunday. I did. I made a big, what I would liken to a baked ziti, but we used some different pasta. And got some breadcrumbs on there. Finally got the breadcrumbs to crunch the way I want them to. So, yes, I'm very much Italian, very much Hispanic, and very happy for Spain. And we don't need to talk about Italy right now. I'm hurt. I was spoiled that the Euro, and it was funny because I was home, obviously during the heat of the pandemic and everything, and I was home watching these games and just hoping that they would get there, and then Spain and Italy had to play each other.
Right.
So I knew that I was going to have someone in the final, but I was upset that they couldn't both be in the final. So it was heartbreaking for me, why can't they both win? And then Italy defeats Spain, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. We're in the finals. Let's do this. Let's win the Euro, because whoever makes it has to win it. And when they won it, there's actually a video of me on our social media, on all of these, Facebook at WakeUpCall.DT, Twitter at CallDT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. If you go back and look at it, I had my Italy stuff on, and I jumped up off the bed. I screamed. I'm facing the camera. I woke my dog up. My dog jumped. She thought something happened. So as much as they're not going to be in the 2022 Men's World Cup, I am happy that Italy was able to win the Euro. So maybe this is Spain's way of coming back, because Italy beat them, so now Spain has to carry the torch for me like Italy did.
Ooh, maybe. You know how I know that something really big happened in Italy? It's when my sister calls me. She lives in Italy, and when she calls me and she tells me something about soccer related, because she is as far as possible away from soccer. She has no clue what's going on, you know. Okay. But when she calls me and say like, did you hear about Italy? And like, okay, something big happened, you know, like one way or another, you know, because she asks me, you know, or she tells me about that. That's kind of, I think it's always funny, you know, so.
Yeah, so heartbreaking, you know, but something that I will endure, and okay. I will find a way to move forward. And speaking of moving forward, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break here inside of our coverage. You know, the Cafe Kubal is the proud studio partner exclusively of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, supporting all of their locations and supporting their product on cafekubal.com. We, of course, are here today at 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, downtown. You can also find them at 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, both in Syracuse, inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-thru location of North Syracuse, and of course in their double-decker two-story cafe, 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. So for Alex Grigorita and myself, Dan Tortora, we are live on site on location at the Cafe Kubal on 401 South Salina Street once again with our Bobcat Buzz takeover. We will come back with plenty more to discuss, including, as you spoke about your opponents, who you consider to be the biggest opponents and maybe your favorite teams to go up against with Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse, as we are supporting women's athletics, women's soccer, and Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse in general. We'll take a step aside for a fast break and be back right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout central and upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. And welcome back here inside of Cafe Kubal, and you know Cafe Kubal, a proud studio partner with us, all of their locations on WakeUpCall with Dan Tortora. Today we are broadcasting live on site on location at 401 South Salina Street in downtown Syracuse, and this is not only a Cafe Kubal exclusive sit-down conversation, but it is a moment for a Bobcat takeover with Bryant and Stratton here, as we are here with Alex Grigorita, the women's soccer head coach, national champion, and assistant AD of Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse, which is literally right up the road. So if you're going to Bryant and Stratton, it's easy to come down and get a cup of Cafe Kubal. And of course, if you're at Cafe Kubal, to take a ride or a walk or a bike ride, if you'd like, when the weather's more permissible here, to up to Bryant and Stratton and show some support for the Bobcats. So always good to have you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And we'll probably wait a little bit with the walk, or with the bike ride to around downtown or to Bryant Stratton College, until better days, and I truly believe they will be here.
Yeah.
When I always talk about, actually I can't be really upset about weather, because once we start the preseason, it's super warm. Some days are extreme, so we'll have to watch the weather, watch the heat, level index and stuff like that. Definitely have lots of water on site and stuff, but then usually the weather changes a little bit as soon as we're done with our season.
Yeah.
So for the past several years we've been really lucky.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll take another one, one on the chin right now in April, keeping in mind and hoping and staying positive that in October, end of October, it's going to be a nice weather and we'll be able to play some good high-level soccer, outside, so that's for sure.
And you talk about playing good high-level soccer. Who do you consider to be the teams that have challenged you the most in your season, in your history of Bryant and Stratton?
Since during our junior college times, and I got the job when I was hired, when I got the opportunity to become a head coach during our junior time, junior college time, and there was the powerhouse in our region because it's set up a little bit differently in the junior college, so it was Monroe College from Rochester, who absolutely was untouchable, so I basically knew that my season would be over as soon as we get to the regional championship, and that would be the end of my season, so that's why I'm super excited, that USAA gives us this opportunity, to play, do well, be competitive, but then go to the national championship, where the best 6 teams in the nation, really have a chance to go against each other and figure it out which one is the best, which one is truly the national champ, So in the USCAA, obviously we have a couple schools on the women's side who've been my friends at the same time. The biggest opponents is the school from Florida, Florida National University, and who is coached by one of my good friends, and then definitely another one in the nation, is the University really have a chance to go against each other and figure their coach. His name is Alex as well, so which one is true. He texts me, we text back and forth, we became really, really good friends. He's fairly new there, about 2 or 3 seasons, something like that, and he was able to get that university back and that program back to the level that it used to be, because when we accessed and we joined USAA, University of Maine for Kent was unbelievable. They were probably of the level of Division 1 or even higher team, and that was a motivation for me, because my first couple years or my first couple national championship appearances, they absolutely demolished us, I think it was like 6-0 or something in the semi-final game. It's a regular season or something. It was a national championship semi-final game when I thought I had a good team. We would come there and they absolutely demolish us, and I would drive back home and think about how is it possible, how far away we are from this program, if we keep getting destroyed, by 6 goals or so. But again, it was a learning experience, so I made sure, we tried to improve a little bit, that program changed a little bit over time, so, but their coach at that time, Lucas, was a great mentor for me as well, as far as not so much helping and telling me the way, but establishing, the bar and getting that bar so high that we all had to do it, so at this point, we actually have a joke, since this new coach Alex, took over in Maine, he hasn't beaten us yet, I don't remember the record, but I think we beat them twice and we have a tie or something like that, so I always have a joke. Alex is still in Maine, how is the weather there? He's like, I can't leave until I beat you, so this is a kind of, where sportsmanship and partnership and really being good colleagues, goes a long way. We had our heated moments on the sideline, but after the game we will say, good words to each other, kind words, say congrats, and go to dinner together, and that's what I'm talking about. That's why when we love the game so much, we're all competitive, but we are able and capable after the game, to put everything aside and be really good friends, and share some good experiences and good time together, so that's for sure.
How do you balance that? How do you balance, respect, friendship, but in a game, like when you meet on the field,
right,
you shake hands and you want to demolish them.
Yeah.
You want to run through them. You want to take them down. You want to outsmart them. You want to best them. And then after the game, let's go grab a drink. How do you differentiate the two, especially if you do get heated?
Right. It comes with experience, because when I was a little younger coach, or I'm still pretty young coach, but when I just started my coaching career, I was getting burned out. I needed like probably a couple days to get over defeat or something like that. With time, with years, like going by, it just kind of, okay, it's just a game. At the end of the day, it's just a game. You lose today, you win tomorrow. You just learn, move on, get better. Go back to the training ground. And you just do what you gotta do as a coach. So you just learning a little bit better how to handle those situations. Because after 5 years or so coaching, college, I was coaching several youth clubs in the area. I literally just got burned out. I just couldn't watch soccer anymore. I couldn't coach soccer. I didn't have the passion. I didn't have the desire, and I had to take like almost a year or so, like break, because I just couldn't do it anymore. So again, with experience, with time, you just kind of learn, because we love the game so much, but you understand you have to at some point just step outside of the soccer world, take yourself out of it, of the situation, of the heated moment, and just be that Alex, simple Alex who enjoys something else, or has a hobby or stuff like that, So that's for sure, and that balance is very, very important, for we are college coaches and we go through some pressure and some tough heated moments. I can't even imagine those professional coaches at that highest level, even more, and that's why. And every single coach, I read quite a few books, they all talk about you should be able to just balance it out, you should be able to enjoy something else, besides soccer, and be able to at some point just shut the door. I'll get back to this tomorrow. Today I want to do something else, and there is a fantastic video of two of the best coaches in the world, after the game, just sitting on the sideline and talking about something. And one of the reporters asked, "What did you talk about? About the game or something?" He's like, "Why? We have other topics to talk about. We talked about our families, about his children, about my children, about life in Spain, about life in England, and that's how it should be, and that's how it is, Even they forgot already about the game. They forgot who won, who lost. They moved on, and learning that and being capable to do that definitely makes you, I think, a better coach and gives you a little bit that excitement, to keep going, to keep going, but also gives you that balance, in life that you need. Lately we all talk about work-life balance. It's basically the same approach, in coaching. Although you're always a coach. Even when I watch soccer now, I don't watch like a fan. You say, you scream on the screen and stuff like that and celebrate. I rarely do that. I more watch soccer kind of like as a coach. Like, wow, look at this tendencies. Look at this coach. Look at this move. Oh, okay, they are down by 2 goals. What would I do as a coach in this situation? It's kind of more like a best explanations, like almost like a 3D. We try to watch soccer from different angles and learn. So that's kind of a little bit different too.
What coach do you like to watch the most when you are watching a game?
I have quite a few. If I watch, since we talk about MLS and talk about Charlotte, I'm a big fan here on MLS. I'm a big fan of Giovanni Savarese from Portland. Like I was a fan of his when he coached New York Cosmos here in New York, and I just like not so much his. He's a character, and he's absolutely a joy to watch on the sideline, and his energy and his passion, and he's all in the game. But on top of this, his team is very, very knowledgeable. They really play soccer. They have a structure, they have a style, they have a certain way to play. And it's so awesome to follow him over the years and his consistency. But then on top of his consistency, that he's not afraid to going back to changing the style they play or changing the system they play. If he sees that something doesn't go the right way, he will change it in a heartbeat. And that's definitely awesome. So I'm a big fan of him. Overseas, obviously, the top coaches in the world are always awesome to watch and follow. Like I said, I talked about Jesse March, not an American coach who coaches in the England Premier League. So I watched quite a few, especially during the COVID. He was one of those coaches who was very open, and he had the time, for other coaches to share his experience and do different type of conference calls with a bunch of coaches, really talk about his philosophies and his strategies and his approaches, So he's a top coach for me. Why? Because first of all, he left MLS where he was in a comfort zone.
Yeah.
He left for something unknown. He left a head coaching job for New York Red Bulls to go to be an assistant coach in Europe. At that time, everyone was kind of like confused. Why? Why would you do that? He wasn't afraid to go and experience, get away from the comfort zone, take the challenge, and learn and become successful there in Europe and prove to everyone that, hey, there are good soccer coaches in the United States. Although we don't call football there football, we call it soccer, but we still know how to coach it. That's number one. And number two, a lot of respect for him because he's not afraid to come into a club after a famous or more experienced coach and just to bring his style and bring his approach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely something. Recently he just took the team over after a coach that is a legend, literally a legend. And you would think like, why would you do that? I mean, why? But he proved it again. That yes, you can take a team after a legend and make it better and change something and bring your own philosophy and own approach, and you will still be successful. So that's for sure. Jesse Marsh is up there for me as well. And the same, same normal coach that everyone else watches. Pep Guardiola for Man City. Who's been very consistent and stuff. So there are some other, like Ancelotti for Real Madrid. A newer coach, like a younger coach again, who just took Barcelona over, Xavi Hernandez, who is a legend of the club, and another good example where you can be a successful player, but you also can be a successful coach, because many players and many coaches say about the same thing. You gotta kill inside of you the player to be a coach. You can't be a player and a coach at the same time. So he was one of those who took about 3-4 years to learn and coach at the different levels. I can't really say lower levels, different levels,
Yeah.
just to prepare himself, and then when he had the chance and took over such a big club, such a huge opportunity to coach his own club, his home club, Barcelona, he came there and he was successful and he was ready and he is successful. They still have a long way to go, but he's definitely doing, and you can see already that this is going to be probably the next big-time coach in the world, So again, but there are some other unknown coaches that have something interesting, and you always learning. Like I said, you always learning. I think I spent about 3-4 hours every single day just watching and following what else is new there, what other coaches are doing. Wow, this team just beat this big house. What did they do? What was their approach? So and that's what, it's only because of passion and the love for the game, for sure.
If you and Nick Dimitrievski got to coach separate countries and you got to go up against each other in a key Euro or FIFA World Cup, where would you ideally coach and where would you want Nick to coach in this giant matchup?
His home country, which is North Macedonia, right? Macedonia to beat Italy, actually. I'm sorry. So let's say
You didn't have to talk about that.
we'll keep it for better days, I guess, and stuff. So I guess, he would be coaching, obviously we all have that somewhere deep inside us, we all would like to bring pride and quality, to our homelands, and where we came from, So if one day, let's say, he coaches Macedonia and I coach Moldova, that would be a game, to remember at the World Cup, that would be definitely awesome, But we definitely, that would be an interesting challenge, actually. It would be very interesting, because we know each other so well, we know each other's styles, but we both always learning, we always have surprises, I'll definitely have to watch his set pieces, because his set pieces are always tricky and you always got to be ready, We always talk, we run the same set pieces that we ran since the time I played. So at this point, every single program knows exactly what kind of set pieces men's team have.
Yeah.
And they still work.
And they still can't beat it.
And they still can beat it. And they still can, for some reason, it's because obviously, thorough work, detailed work and practices in execution and stuff, and commitment to those set pieces, but that would be a good game. That would be definitely a good game to watch, to coach, and to kind of have fun, because that's all it's about. It's about having fun on the sideline while you're trying to win a game.
Now, Macedonia and Moldova have either made the World Cup.
Macedonia's been a little bit a little bit successful,
Yeah, I was going to say
with
Macedonia's
Euros,
made it,
Moldova is hopefully on its way.
Have they ever made it?
No, it's
Okay.
been a long way, and it's been not an easy way, bumpy way. We changed several generations, and we still seem to be looking for that, opportunity and stuff. I truly believe we will get it at some point. We have to believe, otherwise you can't make it. So
It's
also
tough.
it is tough. It's also good to see that women's soccer is definitely developing in my home country. So. Again, it's a long way to go, but as long as the commitment and the resources are there and support is there from all levels, I think someday we will get there.
Describe here with Alex Grigorita, the assistant AD, as well as women's soccer head coach and national champion at Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse for the Bobcats. Of course, myself, Dan Tortora. This is Wake Up Call on site on location at Cafe Kubal. We are at Cafe Kubal every single month. We're going to be at Cafe Kubal 2 locations each this month, and so we'll be down the road at 324 West Water Street next week on Monday, April 25th. And today we are at 401 South Salina Street with the Bobcat Buzz takeover for Bryant and Stratton. For those who don't know anything about Moldova, how would you describe your home country and maybe some of the key pillars that if somebody needed to do, if somebody is on their way to school right now, that actually has school today and doesn't live in the Northeast and they don't have a snow day, they're on their way to school and they waited till the last minute to do a project on Moldova, what should they know?
I would definitely talk about our people, and I always say people our biggest asset. And I went home in November last year, first time after 12 years. And I was able to connect with people that I haven't seen for, 12, 15 years or so. And we just took right from the moment when we left. Everyone is very open, very friendly, very positive, and very willing, to do whatever they can to help, to assist, to as simple as just spend some time together, have some fun, or good example, you're building a house.
Yeah.
You need help. If you call right now, how many of your friends will probably come and help you build a house? I don't know, 2, 3 maybe. In my country, you build a house, you call somebody, the entire neighborhood is going to be there next day to help and support you. And that's the best description about our country. We go through transition. We have hard time. Now with the war going on right next to us, we under so much pressure and under so much fear, right, of unknown again. But our people and their willingness, to support are definitely number one. Number two, it's our wine. You have to. It's so hard to find it here, but you have to find, our wine. I went back home. I'm not gonna say exactly how many bottles we had with my friends, over the time that I was home, but I know that every single bottle counted. And every single bottle was delicious, so that's for sure.
Were you still able to kick a soccer ball after how much you had?
After a couple of days, yes.
Okay, after a couple of days, okay. Not the same day.
Not the same day because
Hand-eye
you can't. Yeah, it's not the right. You gotta celebrate and you gotta make sure you enjoy what you do one step at a time. So.
Yeah.
And our food is delicious. All kinds of food. You can't really. It's the same cabbage roll, but it's different. It's the same stuffed peppers, but it's a little bit different. It's the same delicious soups that we have, but it's a little bit different. So, and I think it's different because the soil we have, our soil back in the Soviet time. If you know anything about the Soviet time, every single country had its own destination and own design. Moldova was known for agriculture, because we had fantastic climate, fantastic weather, great soil. And my mom, when she came here, when she tasted our tomatoes, and she was like, doesn't taste like a tomato, like, it's a little bit more taste, a little bit more, juicy and stuff like that, and that's what the difference is, so definitely agriculture, wine, and number one asset, people again, for sure. I met one of my coaches that coached me about 12 years ago. It's the same thing. When I went home, I'm pretty sure he didn't recognize me, but because he's such a nice guy, and stuff like that, he made everything possible to make me feel comfortable, and we had a conversation, fantastic conversation about you. So that was good too.
Yeah, and I mean, when you say that your best asset about your country is the people, I mean, that's what you want it to be about your team. It's what you want it to be about your school, about your business, about your community, really anything. Sure. If it's not the people, then you're doing it, or something's wrong.
Something is wrong, absolutely.
So, I mean, it's great to know when it's about the people, and you have that. And I think it's a beautiful thing to speak on your country, as we have the opportunity here on mixlr.com, as well as facebook.com and youtube.com, all /WakeUpCall that you are watching and listening worldwide. And we have had listeners and viewership all over, including in Russia and in the Soviet Union areas of old. So it means a lot to me, and maybe we have Moldova now, and maybe we
definitely
reached out to them.
I know for sure we do, because the amount of comments and feedback I receive, like some of them are on sarcastic way, some of them are, and people are very, like I said, they feel, because I'm very approachable, I'm very open, they definitely feel that they can make a comment, make a joke, and I will take it the right way, and that's why I absolutely love it, and some feedback, that I received after winning national championship, after having some local success, or after just, our conversation from last time when we got to know a little bit each other, learn about my background and my home country, the amount of people just send me messages and commented was absolutely insane, and very good to see it and very good to hear it, and I think that's why, too, when I do something, and when I do, I kind of keep in mind that, hey, I'm probably one of the first Moldavian coaches, to coach here in the States, so I want to make sure I represent the right way. I make my family proud, I make myself proud, and I make my country proud of of representation that I have to basically do here, and do it in a positive way, and do it in a good way, that's for sure.
And it is, and it's fantastic, and got some message coming here about let's go Bobcats. So good to see that. Day. And and the hashtag Go Bobcats, as well as the hashtag Bobcat Nation, you can use for Bryant and Stratton for the women's soccer team, and for Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse in general. So I love that we get to reach out, and by doing something like this in the world that we live in today, that you can reach out to Moldova so easily just by coming on to Wake Up Call and doing the show. So it gives me an opportunity to say hello to everyone out there in Moldova, and thank you for watching and listening and being a part of it, and thank you for letting us borrow one of your people for a while here and win a national championship. So I mean, we do live in a world where you can be home when you're not home, and I think that's hopefully, that means a lot to all of you that are watching and listening, and means a lot to you that it only takes turning on a microphone and turning on the camera here, and through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we get to bring you home.
I agree, and that's what makes it a little bit more, I guess, not as hard, this transition, because everything is so accessible these days, via internet, via any type of sources that you can find information. You can be in touch with your friends, I call my mom almost every morning on my way home, on my way to work or on my way home, and stuff. So we don't feel that we far away, because we literally talk daily. I talk to my friend, who is one of the best soccer players in Moldova, and now he's transitioning into coaching, and he's doing a fantastic thing. He established a youth academy, for kids from smaller towns, and gives them an opportunity to play soccer. I talk to him every single day as well, and that makes it a little bit easier, and that makes it a little bit more feeling that, hey, it's all good. You miss your friends, you miss your family, you miss your homeland, but it's not that bad.
you know, we just got, and some kudos to what you were saying here, and the fact that there's an agreement that there's good soups and wines in that part of the world. So, and you said the soup is a little bit different. Is one of your favorite soups something we can get here that just tastes different, or is there a Moldovan soup? That
You know, let's take for example a chicken noodle soup, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same chicken noodle soup kind of, but a little bit more. I don't know. It just tastes different. You know, the chicken tastes different, right? The noodle tastes different. Then I remember my mom came here, you know, and she was cooking for us some super stuff, you know, and we went to the store to buy the groceries, you know, and she was looking for that little species and some herbs and stuff like that. You know, we still have them at my house somewhere, you know. So I guess it's the way we make it, you know, and the way we do it, and definitely a little bit the ingredients taste a little bit different for sure, you know. So.
Well, and it's, I mean, it's home. You know, everything's going to taste a little bit different. I mean,
My daughter had hard time adjusting to Moldavian food when we went there,
really?
you know, because obviously being born here, growing up here, you know, so she had a little bit hard time adjusting to the local food, to Moldavian food, you know, and especially again, as I talk about people, every single person who met her, one of my friends or my relatives, that was the first time they met her, you know, and they all trying to feed her with something or give her something or offer her something. And she just was so confused, and she's like, "Daddy, why is everyone trying to feed me?" or something like that. So that was an experience of itself, you know, like very, very awesome experience as well, you know, that I'm sure she will remember, and she will definitely, you know, like have fun talking about with her friends.
Yeah, you know, and again, I mean, these are stories that you get to tell, and it's something that makes it different from you and makes it special and unique and satisfying to have that world that'll always be with you, have the world that you have here. Like you said, you came here on a joke, right? You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to come over for a week. Nobody thought that you would stay.
Right.
And you ended up becoming a national champion. And like you said, you're not just representing your family, but you're representing Moldova as one of the, you know, first Moldovan coaches to come over here and to be a part of anything, to lead any program, and, you know, to be a Moldavian coach in America, win a championship, just be a coach in general and represent a program. It's representing your entire nation.
Absolutely.
Which, you know, has got to be a feat in and of itself that is really, really special and incredible. And you're not a Kardashian, which I'm very happy for, but they can't even say that they're representing a country, and when they represent our country, I get mad. So,
You know, and when I came here, I came here, you know, like as an unknown. I didn't come here as a coach or as a player or something like that. I just came like one of those or one of many.
yeah.
But I guess being a little bit more stubborn, you know, I from day one I said like I'm gonna do something that I love and something related to soccer. You know, that's for sure. You know, the amount of people around me telling me just don't even try, don't even waste your time, don't even do it. You're not going to be successful. Soccer is not a sport here. You know, we had this conversation about soccer not being a sport, you know.
Yeah.
Soccer is not serious, you know. Not that I didn't listen, but I listened, you know, and I did what I had to do in order to get me to the level or to get me to the point where I wanted to be, you know. So, and again, I'm super grateful to those people who supported and who gave me an opportunity here, you know, like to do what I love, you know, and to become or be a student athlete, you know, at the college, be an All-American, and then transition to the coaching role, you know, and be a college coach, you know, that's for sure. You know, it wasn't just my own work, it was definitely the people that I met on my path, you know, on my way, you know, and guided me and were my mentors, you know, and supported me, but also being a little bit more stubborn definitely helped a lot, you know, so for sure.
That coming from Alex Grigorita here in this special edition of the Bobcat Buzz, coming to you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of Cafe Kubal. You know that Wake Up Call, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, is always inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, and every single month we're on site on location at the Cafe Kubal locations, rotating here throughout Central New York. Today we are here at 401 South Salina Street in downtown Syracuse. and here with Alex Grigorita, assistant AD, women's soccer head coach, as well as national champion for the Bryant and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse, which are literally just a few minutes up the road from this 401 South Salina Street Cafe Kubal location. So supporting local business, supporting local teams from someone who was born and raised about 10 minutes up the road from here on the north side. And so happy to have you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. For everybody that's watching and listening in our community, as well as throughout the country and worldwide, we will take our final step aside and we will come back, stay with soccer, but shift gears and we'll jump into the FIFA World Cup for 2022, also MLS, and the NWSL. So all of that's coming up to get Alex's thoughts as well as my thoughts on the world of soccer, as well as the two leagues in our country representing the men and women. All of that comes up here inside of Cafe Kubal right after this fast break.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
MON-FRI's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpazpopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpazpopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. MON-FRI's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. MON-FRI's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Make sure you make your way out there every Tuesday through Sunday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The Millhouse Market, proud to be there for you, nestled in the heart of Pulaski, and their sandwiches are named after the families that helped to settle today's Pulaski. Being ingrained in our community and ingrained in our taste buds, you can get them at your fingertips by going to the Apple app or Google Play Store to pull up the Millhouse Market app. Download it for free and you'll have their entire menu there for you, as well as once you're all set, you can have contactless pay on the app, tip on the app, and get directions from wherever you are to the Millhouse Market with their indoor dining as well as their general store with local products from local companies to pay it forward, and of course their drive-through window to grab your food and go. The Millhouse Market, available to you Tuesday through Sunday on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. Worth the drive every single time. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jim Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of Cafe Kubal. You know that Cafe Kubal is our proud studio partner exclusively with all of their locations, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, where we are today, as well, and those are all in Syracuse, as well as inside of Galasanos Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse, on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse in their drive-through location, and on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. Today we get to bond not only Cafe Kubal, a local business here in our beautiful community of Central Upstate New York, but also a local team with the Bryant and Stratton Bobcats. Now, I love my t-shirt, but Alex Grigorita, he's got all the stuff. And, Nick's got a bunch of things. And, I want to know who I need to talk to, because I got a nice book bag when we started our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. But there's certain apparel that the coaches get that I think look a little bit nicer. So we're gonna have to work that out.
That's why they are coaches, I guess. So always. But I do like the way you're showing like our logo and our definitely the Bobcat. That's a certain way. It's a certain way that we have to think about. That's definitely unique. So.
Well, and I bring it down where last time in February when I went down to Florida, when we went down to Disney,
right.
My girlfriend and I had my Bobcat hat on, so wearing that to show the world. You got people all over the world at Disney, so a shameless plug for Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse. But very happy to have our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Bryant and Stratton here in Syracuse for the Bobcats, and very happy to be here with Cafe Kubal and our exclusive studio partnership. So we thank you for being here, and bonding the two to Wake Up Call was imperative to do, and we're warming you up here with not only the awesome drinks that are behind us, but also with a conversation about family, about community, about the things that matter here with Alex Grigorita, the assistant AD, as well as the women's soccer head coach and national champion at Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse. So, with that being said, we've talked about a lot of different things. It's time to jump into the world of soccer, and we'll start with the NWSL, the National Women's Soccer League. 12 teams, for those of you that don't know. Your teams in the East Division: in North Carolina, Courage, Washington Spirit, the New Jersey, New York Gotham FC. Love the name because I love Gotham and its connection to New York City and the Batman franchise. The Orlando Pride, and then in the West Division, we have the OL Reign, as well as the Portland Thorns FC, San Diego Wave FC, and Angel City FC. And in the Central Division, we have the Kansas City Current, one of my favorite names, Chicago Red Stars, Racing Louisville FC, and the Houston Dash. So, the NWSL, 12 teams, and as I was talking with you about here, they have a lot of fantastic partners. And you know, you talk about a lot of people, the average fan, don't even know about the NWSL. They don't know there's a professional women's soccer league. They don't even know where these players come from in the FIFA World Cup for women. And the whole notion of if you build it, they will come, and that the media has an obligation, I feel, to tell people the truth, which I believe 0.1% of us in the media actually do, but to tell the truth about the story of the NWSL. If you don't talk about it, if you don't promote it, if you leave it off the cameras, if you leave it off the radio waves, if you leave it with a bunch of absent mics, then people begin to believe, well, if it exists, it's not that important because of the perception of it. Well, obviously, with building into it and wanting to put something behind it, Delta, MasterCard, Nike, Nationwide, Verizon, Twitch, CBS, Budweiser, Ally, and the like have bought into the NWSL, which I think has been a huge part of its success in getting big-time players behind it to tell people, listen, if you keep telling everybody it doesn't matter, if you don't promote it, if you don't get it out there, if you don't stream it, if you don't broadcast it, then yeah, it will carry that notion of it. But now that there's these major players behind it, there's a hope that the NWSL will have a real life and hopefully someday some expansion.
And I think the future is bright for women's soccer overall. You know, if I look back about 10 years ago, we were trying to find something, a women's team to play for my college players or something, and it was almost impossible. Now there are so many opportunities, you know, and that's one of the definitely huge, you know, chances for us as a college, as a program, you know, by recruiting good quality players, you know, working with them, trying to get to the next level, you know, and basically opening them the next door, you know, hey, you do well, you play well, you get your degree, you know, you graduate, you become successful. There is always next step, and next step is trying and going to the pro soccer, you know, semi-pro soccer, you know, the sky is the limit. The opportunities are right there, people are looking, people are all the time, you know, searching for quality players, and it's all up to the individual player, you know, to do the work, and that's all, and to make it happen, you know. So, and National Women's Soccer League is definitely, if you look at their games, you know, like there are more people in the stands, there is more, every single team has more fans, you know, like the level, the quality increases, you know. You look overseas, Premier League, you know, the level is unbelievable as well, you know, for women's soccer. Many of the local, you know, women, you know, like players went there and played there, you know, just to test the level, to see how it is, you know, to have some good experiences, you know. And that shows as well in the international arena, right? Because if, I don't know, 4-8 years ago, U.S. national team would be untouchable.
Yeah.
Well, now they have a good competition there, you know, and it's definitely many teams are competing, you know, and I still believe that we have the strongest soccer team in the world, you know, but other teams are definitely getting better and better. And why? Because of support, because of the more exposure, because of the, you know, more people actually being aware. And if you watch it, You really enjoy it. Yeah, there are mistakes. Yeah, not nobody's perfect. You know, the league is still developing. The players are getting better. Us as coaches, right? We're trying to learn and become a little bit more competitive. You know, so if you talk about, you know, even National Women's Soccer League, right? 2 of our players from Bryant and Stratton last year played for one of the reserves team, you know, for the New York team, you know. So that was a huge success for us, and again, proves us and shows us that everything is possible if you're doing your best.
Yeah.
You're really focused, you know, and you have a goal and you're goal oriented, you know. That's for sure.
Yeah, you know, and I love that. And so I have not chosen my women's team yet. And now that you're telling me that Gotham had 2 of the players from Bryant and Stratton on reserve, Gotham was the one I had circled because I'm a Batman fan. So should I choose Gotham now since they've connected with Bryant and Stratton?
I'll let you do your choice, you know, and pick your favorite, you know. So obviously, when we used to have the Western New York Flash, a team from Buffalo, you know, so that would be an easy choice,
Yeah.
you know, somebody pretty local. They moved to the North Carolina, you know, to become a different franchise, you know, and just as successful as they used to be, you know. So
Yeah.
I'll let you pick your team, you know. And
Do you have a team?
no, I don't. But again, I watch soccer as a coach, you know, and I more watch, you know, and I like to see, you know, like what coaches do, what players do, how would they develop, you know. And sometimes I like I look at the game, you know, I look at those highlights, and it's impressive, you know, the goals they score, the plays they do. But at the same time, you see so many more opportunities and so many more, room for development, like individual defending, you know, like there are still players at the high level, both men's and women's, that they absolutely have not no idea, but they very poor as far as individual defending, you know, like their body positions, then their arms, how they're using their arms, you know, how they moving their feet, are they moving their feet, you know, like, and stuff like that, you know, and goes back to the grassroots, you know, and to the youth soccer, you know. If you really look at the youth soccer, you know, we used to have so many kids playing, you know, and stuff. Lately, maybe not as much, you know, and then we gotta make sure we have qualified coaches working with that youth, you know, because our youth is our future, you know.
Yeah.
Our youth is our future women's national team, you know. And I coach my own daughter. That was one of the biggest challenges probably as a coach, you know. So I hope I can transition at some point to just become a parent like everyone else. But again, you know, just we have to continue developing, you know, on the women's side especially, you know, and women's soccer, there is a huge opportunities and a really bright future, you know. And going back to my home country, Moldova, right? Same thing. 10, 12 years ago, we had 1-2 teams, women's teams. Now we have more and more. They're trying to be more and more successful. They don't have the support that we have over here. They don't have the infrastructure that we have over here, you know. But people don't give up. They're still trying to develop. They're trying to grow the sport, you know. And I always say one of my dreams definitely still is, you know, to actually it's 2 dreams, you know, establish a professional women's team maybe here in Syracuse, you know. We have everything what it takes. We have the talent. We have the support of community. We have a fantastic, you know, youth clubs and academies, you know, that are able and capable to provide quality players. You know, we have fantastic schools and colleges, you know, that can definitely be the feeder program, you know. And then I definitely would like to help my home country and see if we can get some hour of the American players, you know, get them overseas and play there, you know, to promote the sport and to show them, you know, like, hey, everything is possible. You just gotta do it and believe in yourself, and the future will be bright. That's for sure.
So, a professional team here in Syracuse.
A women's professional team in Syracuse. I talk about this probably for the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
You know, and I still believe there is a chance, you know, if you do it the right way.
What makes you believe in that?
Again, because we have everything what it takes, you know. We have strong grassroots programs, you know, with good youth clubs and academies. We have very good high school soccer. You know, you take FM, you know, you take West Hill, you take West Genesee, you take Beeville, right? Those are very good, well-established girls soccer programs. We have very strong colleges, you know. You take Lemoyne, Colgate, Syracuse University as good feeder program, you know.
Yeah.
Now we're just missing that little link. The next one, you know, can we establish a good semi and professional women's team, you know. because all of those players, they graduate college, they coming back to their roots, they coming to hometown in Syracuse, and they have nothing to do, and most of them end up playing Sunday league soccer, which I'm sure they are capable of way more than that.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree with you that there should be a change, and there should be an evolution of this, and I would love to see a professional team here in Syracuse. Would you be the owner?
I'm not sure of owner. I volunteer as a coach for sure.
Okay. All right. Because if you need ownership, you're sitting next to somebody who knows how to run a business.
Here we go. I think we just made a deal here.
Maybe we did. So, no, I would love to see that because, I mean, this is my city. This is where I grew up. Like I said, I grew up on the north side right up the road. And, to me, why not us is always my thought process
Sure.
of, why not have a team? Why not, and then it would be easy for me to decide my team because right now I'm deciding among 3 NWSL teams. I'll tell you which ones they are. It's New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. It's the OL Reign just because I'm a fan of Seattle. And I used to be a Supersonic fan, and anything in Seattle I take a look at. And then the San Diego Wave. Those are my 3 choices.
Well, how about,
Gotham was my first one.
How about we'll give you some time to think about, just to
will.
make sure you choose the right one.
I
Because
will.
you never know.
But I do have a favorite team in the MLS. I chose them before their season opened. I can never be called a bandwagon jumper because I chose them before their first official game ever, and that's Charlotte FC. I'm a big fan of the Queen City. I spent a lot of time down there with the Atlantic Coast Conference with football media days and Operation Basketball for their media days as well. So Bank of America Stadium's there for the Carolina Panthers. A lot of beautiful things about the city of Charlotte. It's where I started one of my broadcasts besides Wake Up Call underneath Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, which is called Comic Book Trails, where I go all over the country, maybe outside of the country someday, and we stop in towns and cities, and we go into comic book and collectible places, kind of like a diners, drive-ins, and dives, but we do it with comic books and collectibles. Stop there, talk to owners, promote them, and we started it in Charlotte, North Carolina, where Heroes Aren't Hard to Find is the first place that we went to. So Charlotte FC is my team. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to run you through the MLS. In the Eastern Conference, in the Professional Men's League here in America, we have Philadelphia, Orlando, and I got to be with Orlando when they started, before they came into the MLS. New York, Atlanta, Toronto, Montreal, Chicago, Charlotte, Columbus, New York City, New England, Cincinnati, Miami, and DC. In the Western Conference, we have the LAFC, Austin, we have the LA Galaxy, Dallas, Houston, Salt Lake, Minnesota, Nashville, Portland, Colorado, Seattle, Kansas City, Vancouver, and San Jose. And coming to us soon, we'll have St. Louis. That'll give 29 to the MLS, 1 team away from tying the NHL, the NBA, and the MLB with 30 franchises. So the MLS, which used to be 12 and then became a sleeping giant with 20, then 22, and then it was 27, and it felt like almost overnight it expanded and just blew up into something incredible, will be now 1 away from having 30 teams, and now nobody can say who watches soccer in America when they will now be tied with all of the major leagues in America except for the NFL, which has 32 to lead everybody.
Absolutely. I mean, soccer, again, is just been developing at a huge, at a very exciting pace as well, so I'm sure, and if you look at the not only fan base, not only the level of the game, but look what's happening behind the scenes, right? The new fields, the new stadiums that we build, the World Cup that is coming, that's going to be in the United States, Mexico, and Canada, right? Yeah. So that's all promotes, and that's a huge booster, for the sport here locally.
And dare I ask, do you have an MLS team, or you're going to be political and say that
no,
you watch everybody?
I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna say I watch as a coach, and I really like what Giovanni Savarese has done at Portland, so I really enjoy watching them. I used to love enjoying, Jesse Marsh and his New York Red Bull site as well, so
First pro game I ever went to was New York Red Bull game, but that was back in the day. Josie Altidore, totally different team. A lot of young guys that they had built up their program at the time. and they were exciting to watch. They're playing at Old Giant
Yep.
Stadium in East Rutherford before MetLife, so it was before the Red Bulls even had Red Bull Park and even had their own arena. So
Right. No, and they are exciting, and exciting why? Because, yeah, there again, maybe goes back to the skill level, and everyone makes mistakes, but the commitment from players, commitment from coaches, commitment from the organization and franchises, it's insane, right? And because that commitment and everyone is focused on what they do and they try to do their best, that shows on the field as well, and the physicality and the level of physicality they're trying to establish makes it difficult for local players, but also makes it difficult for those superstars, right, that come from all over the world at the more older age, and they hoping or thinking it's going to be an easy walk and becomes a very challenging league to play in, and that speaks volumes about the league level and about the league itself, so.
now, for you, why do you think the MLS went from being 12, which is what the NWSL has now
Sure.
for the Women's Soccer League? How do you think they went from 12 to seemingly feeling like overnight going from 12 to 22, and now we're in a place where they're about to tie the NHL, the MLB, and the NBA? How did they get there?
I think there are several factors. First of all, we talk about goes back to media, right, and promoting and partnering with those big companies and big supporters and stuff. Like if you talk about something, and you're making available to people and make it a good product, that's definitely is going to attract more and more fans. I'm a good example. I moved to the United States and I had no idea about American football or what football is, right? And by watching a couple games, I just like, wow, I really like the angle. I really like the approach. I really like the whole idea about how they go, like pre-game show analysis, right? At halftimes, like after game, I like about those little cameras, on the benches, and then if you go after the game and watch on YouTube, you get those mics and the games and players. You hear what players talk about during the games, what coaches talk about during the games. And that really becomes a little bit attractive. You wanna learn more about the game, learn more about the teams. Same approach with soccer. You get to know more the players, more the teams, the coaches, the fans, the cities, the communities. The investment in infrastructure. The grassroots and having all the kids, playing soccer. But then let's not forget, we talk about new Americans, right? All people that move from all over the world, United States, and finding here an opportunity and finding a home for themselves, They bring the soccer culture as well from their home countries, and they definitely grew up with the game, and they would like to promote the game here, and they definitely go to attend and they find a team to support here and locally as well.
We talked about how the NWSL getting the right partners, right, and getting some of those great backers, corporate partners for the MLS, Adidas, Allstate, AT&T, Audi, BetMGM, Body Armor, who I've worked with, Captain Morgan, Coca-Cola, who I've worked with, Continental, DoorDash, EA Sports, Heineken, Home Depot, JLab, Kellogg's, Procter & Gamble, SeatGeek, Target, and the University of South Carolina specifically here. MLS Next has Adidas, Allstate, University of South Carolina, and DoorDash. eMLS has Coca-Cola, DoorDash, PlayStation, JLab, Cheez-It, Pringles, EA Sports, and the University of South Carolina. And MLS broadcasting on ESPN, Fox Sports, Univision, TSN, and TVA Sports, and also working with USA Today. So that was a big thing too with MLS, is getting ESPN and Fox Sports to get behind it, especially Fox Sports, other channels, Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2, because I don't have cable as many because it's ridiculously priced and it's just not good here in Central New York. Sorry, but it's not. So FS1 is a way that I got to watch a lot of the soccer games, and in the middle of the night at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, you can pull up a game from anywhere in the world and get to get a feel for everything. So you're watching the English Premier League. You could be watching a replay of a game. You could be watching a game on the West Coast for the MLS. There was so much that Fox has done that I really do want to thank them, because they made so many efforts to get the games out to us, which I think is a huge way again of stopping the stigma of nobody cares. Well, if you put it on TV and you build into it, when you put it on TV, they want to sell those sponsorships because they bought the game. So everything working together to be cyclical, is if we stop this this negative, opposite of promotion, kind of bashing of it and pushing it down, and say, okay, we're going to put it on TV, we're going to call people to be sponsors, and we're really going to put it into it. I mean, it's amazing when you put a team, time, and effort. Look at it. Nobody watches the NWSL and nobody watches the MLS. That has been thwarted by the fact of when you put it on TV and you put it out there for business partners, not only have people bought into it, but people have watched it. And Charlotte's first game, I think it was a sellout crowd that they had. So, and that's incredible for an expansion team.
Just like last year, MLS final, same thing. Was a huge demand, for the game, and there's so many fans, supporting on the stadium, instead of the arena, and on TV as well, so that's for sure.
And I love seeing the expansion of the MLS and everything that they've done up to this point, and I love being able to watch games in the middle of the night because I'm awake. So, with that being said, we bring us to the draw for the 2022 Men's FIFA World Cup, which will be played in Qatar. Qatar getting Group A and having their opportunity here. Like I said, on the way in today, very early in the morning, because I didn't get to see the draw, I turned it on my YouTube and I listened to it. And so Qatar is representing Group A, Group B led by England, Group C, Argentina, Group D by France, Group E by Spain. What up, Spain? Group F by Belgium, Group G by Brazil, and Group H by Portugal. Going all too well being a fan of Spain. So Group A is Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and the Netherlands. Group B, England, Iran, as well as the USA in the Euro playoff game. Group C, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. Group D, France, IC Playoff 1, as well as the Intercontinental Playoff, Denmark and Tunisia. Group E, Spain, the Intercontinental Playoff 2, Germany and Japan. Group F, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. Group G, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. Group H, Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and the Korea Republic. Most difficult group by looking at it, in your opinion?
There will be, actually depends, because there is an interesting Group E, Spain, Germany, and Japan. And if you really, every single World Cup or every single major tournament, there is always that one team surprises everybody.
Yeah.
So it depends who's gonna join that Group E, but I think regardless, Spain, Germany, Japan is gonna be definitely interesting. Everyone is excited to watch two teams at this World Cup. I know, just watching some media in Europe, like Canada, United States. United States is definitely interesting team, young team. Bringing some interesting stars that are already stars in Europe. And Canada, that actually finished the qualification tournament in front or ahead of the United States. Everyone is excited.
They won 17 in a row, right?
Everyone is excited to watch those two teams, right?
Yeah.
And then we have again the usual powerhouses: Argentina, France, Brazil, right? So, but this is why we like the World Cup, and this is why we love soccer. You never know what's going to happen. There were cases when the former world champion or didn't make the tournament, or couldn't even access the playoff stage. Like they couldn't qualify or they couldn't win their group. So everything is possible. I think that group is going to be definitely challenging. I think depends who's going to join. France there might be interesting, but again, every single group has powerhouses on paper, but I think it's going to be a great tournament as well. Like if winning overall, again, we have same teams experience. France will have a definitely strong team.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind that Argentina, is probably their top star going to be last tournament. They will go all in, to try winning all. I'll have to mention Spain. Not because you're wearing Spain, because Spain is a true powerhouse. And they will have a good tournament. And we can't forget about teams like Germany, like Croatia, Netherlands. They always good. England's definitely going to be there. They keep trying.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel bad for them, but who knows? Again, it's going to be an interesting tournament. So is Portugal. Portugal is going to be most likely last big tournament for their top star, as well. So there some balance, but there's some teams that you would think will be definitely there. We'll see, because only one team can win it all. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I would say, and I'm not saying this because of part of my heritage, but seeing Spain, Germany, and Japan all in the same group is going to be a very difficult road to hoe. I think the one that's kind of open is, we'll see what Canada can do coming in as fiery as they are, but, Belgium being in there, and could Morocco and Croatia mix things up a little bit. The crazy thing about Canada is that, you would think that they've been to so many, but they really haven't been. Yeah. And it's been a drought for Canada to get there. I think Brazil has the easiest group to get out of, in my opinion. Do you disagree?
That's a good opinion, but I would disagree, because...
Okay. Who do you think would fight them? Switzerland?
Oh, I think every single team will give them a good fight. Brazil is a bunch of talented players, so if they catch a good day, they can beat anybody. If they catch a good structured team or play against structured team, and Cameroon will definitely bring them a good physicality, and they'll bring them will give them a good fight. Switzerland is known for not being an easy team, although they, you think like, oh, Switzerland is actually a very well-established team, Serbia is always hard to play against, so it's open. I think it's open. Do they have chances? Yeah, I think they definitely the favorites. Is it going to be easy? I don't think so.
No, I think Group H is going to be one to watch because Ghana, shout out to my friend Patrick Tindana, who I went to Marywood University with, and shout out to Ghana making their third World Cup, and all since 2006, I think it is. So a big time shout out to Ghana. I was actually down in Florida when Ghana was playing the United States, and that was a packed house. It was crazy to watch that game and see what Ghana did in that game. But I think, with Ghana, as well as the Korea Republic, Uruguay, and Portugal, I think that kind of leaves it wide open. I think Group A is somewhat wide open. I think my favorite would be the Netherlands, but I think that's, another wide open area. The United States, I would like to hope, has a good opportunity in Group B to move forward. I would pick them in England if I had to with the eye test, but there's obviously a play-in game for that. And then, I think Group C is wide open as well, and I would love to see Denmark really push France and the rest of Group D. So, I think everybody's got their kind of, like you said, every year there's always that dark horse, the team you didn't expect. But, if there was ever a group where I think 3 out of 4 teams, and those are the ones that we know, where I think any of them could potentially win the World Cup or make it really far, I'm sad to say it's Group E, where Spain's just got to fight like heck, and to have Germany in the same group as you, and that's typically a team you see in the quarters or the semis. So it's going to be great to see this, but the draw has left things very open, and I'm going to fill out my bracket and have a lot of fun with this and see how I do. I'll fill out a bracket pre-games happening, and then I'll fill out a bracket once the group stage is done, and so I'll have a bracket of who I think is going to make it from the beginning, and then once we have the groups decided who's coming out of them, then I'll make a bracket of that and who I really think after things are kind of firmed out, who I think is going to go. And I think you should make a bracket. I think Nick should make one too.
I think that's a fantastic idea. We all should join, not only Nick and I think we should get our basketball coach.
I think we should get everybody in.
And just get them all, to do some work and think about it a little bit, because it's exciting, so.
And I'll have the shredder ready in case Clay is better than we are at any of this.
That's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one to take if Clay and Sean beat us, So, and they might just. They won't put so much, thought into it. They just will probably be a little guess, and then a lucky guess, and they will not stop talking about afterwards. Knowing those two guys, they will be reminding me for the rest of the year.
So for Alex Grigorita and myself, Dan Tortora, we're going to jump into rapid fire here. We're going to do a couple apiece here as we wrap up our live broadcast celebrating the Bobcat Buzz. Bryant and Stratton Bobcats with us every single month, exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and our multimedia marketing partnership. And we get to do these awesome opportunities with Alex Grigorita, Nick Dmitrievsky, as well as Sean Peake, Clay Gagan Sherman, and the team in and of itself. So always love having everybody out there. A big shout out to Danny Frasina and everything we've gotten to do with him. And of course here at Cafe Kubal on 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, where we're broadcasting live. So We're going to do 2 apiece. I'll defer to you first.
2 apiece.
2 apiece.
You know, last time I had a really challenging one, so I decided
Yeah.
this time I'll just
Are
take
you
it
going to be
easy.
kind to me?
Yeah, I'll be kind to you. I'll take it easy on you, you know. So
And
since
shout
we are-
out from the both of us to Kathy Braun, the head coach that had so many years at Colgate, now the women's soccer head coach over at Lemoyne, who says hello. So
Yeah, she's a true legend. You know, she's
Yeah.
definitely. I'm excited for the program. I think they couldn't get a better candidate or a better coach than her right now to take the program to the next level and to build a legacy there. You know, I'm sure she's got the experience, the knowledge, and she knows exactly how to take this program and to bring the success back to Lemoyne College. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm happy for her. I'm happy for the program for sure. You know, so anyways, back to our questions. Since we are at the Cafe Kubal, you
Yeah.
know, how Dan Tortora likes his coffee?
So that's a fantastic question. I've tried a few of their coffees here, but what I get here all the time, and I will get before I leave today, is their chai is actually what sells me more than even the coffee. And so the owner, Matt Goddard, and I, we talk about it, is that, you know, any type of chai here is the DT special. And so I love the pumpkin and everything, their spices and their syrups are made in-house. But I've had my chai with mint, I've had it with brown sugar, I've had it with cinnamon swirl, I've had French toast, I've had the honey, I've mixed them. But I think my favorite is the pumpkin one that I'd have to take for chai. But yeah, I'm an almond milk, hot chai, large, and then I'll mix it up and throw something in there. That's what I go with.
think your entire Italian side of the family just literally crossed your name from all the Christmas gifts and everything else. Dan said
chai.
nothing about coffee.
No, I picked the chai. No, I've tried the Ethiopian one. I mean, there's a lot of different ones that they have here, and they have a Guatemalan one, which is really cool for my cousin, my little brother Miguel. So they definitely have a great array. It's just, as Matt knows, I do not tell a lie. I get chai every time that I come because it's that good here. And I'm a tea drinker. I mean, I use my voice for a living, so I have to drink some type of tea, chai, something of that world. So
Okay,
I have to be smart.
that leads me to the second question,
Okay.
which you said, you know, you use your voice for a living. Obviously, you're going all over the place, you know, trying to promote community, trying to do, you know, what's right for everyone, you know, and telling stories about you, about people, you know, and that's definitely it's highly appreciated, I know, by our program and by our college. You know, what motivates you to do this daily?
I love helping people. I love telling stories. I mean, you knew, I got up today at 4:30 in the morning, spent Easter with my girlfriend, shout out to Carrie, and wanted to be with her for Easter. She was on call as a CRNA, so she had to be there in case she got called into the hospital. Thankfully, she did not, so we got to celebrate Easter. And to get back on the Christmas list, I made an Italian dish for her, and we only had pasta and salad, so please put me back on the Christmas card list. But yeah, I mean, what drives me to do it? I mean, it's what drove me to come back here today. I like helping good people. And when I came into Bryant and Stratton, when Clay called me, I said to Clay, I said, well, you know, me starting this multimedia marketing partnership business within my business of Dan Tortora Broadcast Media and WakeUpCall, I was like, you're the one that you know, told everybody else at Bryant and Stratton about me. And he goes, no, it was Alex. And I was like, what are you talking about? We had never met. And he said, no. He's like, Alex has watched your show from afar. He appreciates everything you're doing. He's a fan. And he said, you know that I love what you do, but, you know, Alex wanted to bring you in too. And I sat with you all, and really it was, I trust my vibe. I trust my feeling on it. And what drives me to do it? I do. I love helping people. I love making people laugh. I love sports. I know that in the media, I tell the truth, and I know that that's a rarity. I know that I care about people. I know that that's a rarity. I know that I won't change your words around. I know that that's a rarity. So I was always going to do this, but it's strange that coaches and players will thank me for being the only honest person that they talk to, for the only call that they'll take, for the only person that they know that they can trust with their message. And so why I do it, I love people. I love bringing people together. No matter how tired I am, I'm never tired. Like, I went to bed and got up at 4:30 so I could come here. I drove in the ice. I drove in the snow. I drove in inclement weather. You said that we could reschedule. I said no. And, you know, I mean, it's in my blood. I love people. I love storytelling. I love making people laugh. I love putting my stamp on it. And I love the thought that when I'm done with this world, I can get you to know 3 people, 10 people, 20 people that you've never would have met before, and maybe they become some of your closest friends. And I don't know, I mean, I love the smile on a mom's face when she's like, you interviewed my daughter, you got her out of her shell, and now she, you know, she was listening to your interview with Alex, and now she's going and looking at Bryant and Stratton, and I don't know, there's so many things that can happen from this, and I don't know, I believe when you own your own business, you have one of the few jobs in the world where your ceiling doesn't exist. And I like the thought that I can reach higher every day and try to slap hands with God and try to touch heaven. So I try to bring happiness to people. That's what I try to do.
You know, maybe a next step is to do a show from overseas. You know, maybe once you go to your honeymoon.
I did one in Canada, so I've technically been out of the country, but I've never done one overseas.
We'll go one overseas, maybe you know, Europe. Maybe you'll get to Italy or maybe further to Moldova, you know, to taste some of that delicious wine and soups, you know, and get to meet people, you know.
I'll go. I'll do a show with you in Moldova. You got to come with me, though. I can't go there without you. That'd be a very strange, like, I'm here, you're not. So, who lost their ticket? You know what I mean?
Sounds great. All right, your turn.
My question's for you. What has been, we started working together in February. It's been a few months. So what has been your favorite part of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership?
I'll tell you, you know, it's more than just a partnership. And that's what I appreciate. I appreciate when people come open, because we are open. You know, you got to know us a little bit, all the coaching staff, you know, all the management, you know, we do what we do because we're passionate about it, you know, and I think that's where I sensed it right away, you know, from what you do, from your approach, you know, I really enjoy this passion. I enjoy this, you know, we will go an extra mile, not because we have to, because we want to, you know, and this kind of communication and a true, you know, like, and again, it's more than partnership. It's a friendship almost, like friendship between you and our program, friendship between you and our coaching staff, you know, and there is more to come. And I think that's what I appreciate the most. You know, it's not just a business relationship. It's not just you know, because you cool or we cool, that's why we want to kind of work together. No, because we really, truly enjoy each other's company, you know, like you and our coaching staff. And we always talk about, and in our meetings when we something, okay, we gotta make sure, you know, Dan is aware and stuff, you know, and not because we have to, but because we would like to. And I think that's what makes it so pleasant, easy, and effective, you know, because we truly enjoy doing this, you know, and that's what I appreciate the most, you know, honesty, being open, being available, doing this because you like it and because you truly enjoy doing it, because it's a passion, you know. I think that's what, for me, it goes a long way, that's for sure, you know. Just like with players, I like passionate players, I like players that are open-minded, you know, and that goes a long way more than anything else.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, it's so much fun, and I realized that sitting down with Nick is I just was like, wow, I really love that interview. I love talking with you. And then I sat down with you and we're laughing and we were just talking, and then after it's like, wow, we did a 40-minute interview and we were just talking, right. You know, and you know, typically a coach, even winning a national championship, the most you're going to get is 2 lines in a paper or maybe a 5-minute interview, and we did 40 minutes and barely scratched the surface. We got to talk about your home country. We got to talk about, you know, why you do what you do and what moves you and whatnot, and the roundtable discussion with everybody, getting to come to the selection show for men's and women's basketball and get to see you speak with both of the teams, and then get to meet the teams, and then after that with Clay, Love's Mother's Covered, we got to bring Clay out there to do the announcement. Danny Frasina got to bring him in a PB&J's and sit with a friend who sat with me when he took the job at Bryant and Stratton, and we got to sit when he was, you know, moving on to another piece of his career. So what we've done in not even a full 3 months to me has like put such a spotlight on Bryant and Stratton that I take personally, because there's so many. That's what I said to Nick, and I said to all of you when we all met, is I was like, it's not that you don't have the stories, it's that they haven't been told yet.
Right.
You have them. And I said, I was like, it's easy for me to sell a logo that I love, and my blue hat, I said, it's coming back down with me to Disney in a few weeks, and I'll be rocking that hat when I'm on Splash Mountain or whatever I'm on, and well, hopefully on Everest, because that's my favorite ride, but definitely looking forward to it, and I love what you all do. And yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like when we meet, it's not like a meeting. It's like, hey, let's grab some sandwiches,
Sure.
and let's all just sit around the table and, you know, try to find a place to eat our sandwich around all the trophies. And you know, but it's a family, and it's so much fun to work with you all because you all care and you enjoy it, and we already have like jokes. We already like laugh at each other, which I think is cool. So my second question for you is, since we always talk about soccer, if you had to pick any other professional sport in America and you had to pick a favorite team, NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, which league do you pick and which team do you pick?
I would love to say football.
Okay.
I would love to, because it has a little ties to European version of football, right, which is rugby, right? And
Yeah.
and back in the day, I actually had to play a little bit of rugby, not because I wanted to, because I had to, like, I was involved in some kind of activities and I had to do it. And I played against two semi-professional, almost professional rugby players.
Yeah.
And you know how in soccer, basketball, you have a little bit of trash talk, you know, just to get excited, get motivated and stuff. So I'm not sure, because of my age or because of my mindset, I start trash talking to those two guys during the game, you know, and said, like, with kind of sentences like, well, come on, girls, let's play, or are we gonna play today, or is it gonna get physical, or we're just gonna keep, you know, just playing like this, you know. So they got so upset with me, so upset. And then during the, you know, this beginning of the game or the play, you know, they look at me and they said, I knew that they catch me, they kill me. That there is no way. And again, football, you have at least some kind of, you know, helmet, some kind of protection. Rugby, you have nothing. It's your body.
Yeah.
At that age, I think I was like 19, 20, something like that. I was super skinny. I mean, I was like, if one of those guys will catch me, he could probably kill me. You know, that's for sure. I got the ball. I wasn't running because I wanted to score. I was running because I was scared. I knew they catch me, they kill me. That the only thing was in my mind. I was so fast. I was running. I was creative. Our rugby coach was on the sideline, and he's like, "You're good with the ball. You're so good. You're so creative. Don't you want to try?" I said, like, "Thank you. I'll stay away." But if I have to pick a sport, that definitely be ice hockey. You know, definitely be ice hockey. As far as team, probably will play for Capitals, you know, grade A. I have a T-shirt of his, you know, like in my house, you know, Alexander Ovechkin, you know, like Alexander, Alex is the same. We are definitely have the same name, and that's about all we have in common.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, but that would be, you know, and it's been a dream of mine. You know, I know there are so many Sunday leagues, right? Ice hockey Sunday leagues around here. You know, but I don't have it. I don't have the passion, you know, and I don't have not the passion. I don't have the talent to even ice skate. You know, I can't ice skate, unfortunately. Something that I have to probably learn and do it, and eventually, you know. But it's still in my bucket list, you know, to play ice hockey one day in my life, like real ice hockey on skates with a stick, on the, you know, ice rink against some guys that know how to play too.
Yeah, and I've never ever played ice hockey, and I wanted to do that as well. Like, I have a stick, I've tried to blade with it, I've skated before, but my favorite team, the Anaheim Ducks, which won their championship in 2007, I'm a Mighty Duck fan. Yes, I'm a Duck fan because of the movies The Mighty Ducks,
Okay.
with Emilio Estevez and the knuckle puck and all that. So that's why I'm a fan, but I've always been a Duck fan. And I think it's funny what you said about rugby, because whenever we played pickup football, if it was two-hand touch, what I would do is, like, if it was two-hand touch, whatever, it was flag football, is fine. But when we were playing tackle, I'd line up on the outside as a receiver, and I'd just jet. And they're like, Dan, it's first down. I'm not throwing it. I go, throw it. And it was the same thing. I was like, I don't want to get tackled. So I would run and just try to outrun everybody, and I never got tackled in the game. I think I had 3 touchdowns in the game, never got tackled. But again, like, I'm not a big dude. I have muscle. I'm 5'8", but I was running. I had probably less muscle then, and I was running for my life. Same like you.
Same something in common. I actually brought my team a couple years ago. I brought my team to the downtown ice rink, my entire team for fun. And that was probably the best time we had as a group, like in a while. The amount of laughs and jokes and stuff we had was unbelievable. And majority of my team, or many of my goals, are from Caribbean islands, that they never got on the skates, they never saw snow in their lives, and to have that first experience and being again open to it and trust to each other, that was a unique experience, that's for sure, so maybe one day we'll go and play some ice hockey,
Yeah, we'll have to do it. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora wants to thank you once again, and we appreciate you so very much. Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com, all /WakeUpCallDT. On WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage, and also on Facebook.com /LiveNowDT. Once the shows go live, they jump into our archives on Stitcher, TuneIn, Podbean, iHeart, Spotify, MixLR, YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. And for those of you on our social media, you just found out we've been added to 2 more. Amazon Music and Audible now carries Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You can search on any one of these avenues by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And a big shout out and a thanks to our Central and Upstate New York partners and beyond: Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, PB&J's Lunchbox, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Avicoli's Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Ma&Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. You can order anywhere at maandpazpopcorn.com, Honda City of Liverpool, the Millhouse Market, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, Pizza Man, Mother's Cupboard, and Chick-fil-A Cicero, and Chick-fil-A Clay, and of course Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, the proud multimedia marketing partners exclusively of Lemoyne College for the Dolphins, with Dolphin Time every Wednesday at 9 a.m., the Marywood Pacers, Marywood University in Scranton, PA, with our Pacer Pride every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and your Bobcat Buzz coming to you monthly with the Bryant and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse, including today with the Bobcats on-site on location at Cafe Kubal here on 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, New York. Next week, we'll start off the week on Monday, April 25th at 324 West Water Street at Cafe Kubal. Until then, we'll continue to join you from the Cafe Kubal studios, and I want to thank Bryant and Stratton College for the time. Go Bobcat Nation, and to all the coaches, administration, and student athletes and students at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, I thank you all, and of course, no bigger thanks today than to Alex Grigorita. Appreciate it as always.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for being safe and making actually here this morning and a challenging drive, so we appreciate you.
And in the